welcome to the review of Marvel's Spider-Man 2. Now, before we begin, this is going to basically there is like one little mission which we'll do while we are doing the review, but all in all, this is really the review of how I thought of the game. Now, if you guys have yet to play this game and you don't want to hear my review on it before you play, this is going to be a spoiler alert. And also, if you guys have yet to watch the playthrough I did of this game, I highly recommend for you guys to go and check out this before check out the playthrough before you guys watch this. So, spoiler alert before we get going. So. All right, that is it. Okay, so um, like I said, the only thing is just this, which we'll go do this real quick. But anyways, so here is what I am already going to say about the game itself. This game was by far one of the best Spider-Man games I have ever played, and really, um, if you guys, and like I said, if you guys have been watching me do the playthrough, um, you guys have already really been there and experienced really my reaction in every sense of the game. Now, now, no matter how good a game is, the world we've always have something to really kind of say about the game, whether we like or don't like. And you know what? Um, that is one thing that we definitely want to do. Um, Anyways, so what do I? We'll start off with the what do I like about this game. Now, let's already go ahead and really say that there is really nothing about this game that I don't like. Like the way they bring the way that they brought Harry back and was able to really or I'll guess let's listen to this real quick. Okay, let's do it. Hmm. 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 Let's try this. There we go.
I knew you could compete. Now, you know those little bee drones we salvaged from the field studies? We just leveraged their relocation data sets to plant those seeds around the city.
You're some kind of genius, Harry Osborn. Let's get those bees working.
I know, I know. It'll be years before we see the results. And who's to say where you and I will be a week from now, let alone years from now? Which is why I did this simulation to show you. So Emily and May will live on in the city, and of course, in us. I love you. I really do. And I know the Foundation didn't end up going the way I'd hoped, but there's still no one I'd rather have tried with. I bet by the time you get this, we'll have already started a new Foundation. Just me and you. Scratch. Go us.
Go us.
Oh, one last thing. I got a little something for you. Wear it in good health. Love you.
Hmm. Interesting. All right. So, anyways, with all that, here is what I'm really going to come out and say. Like I said before, there's really nothing I don't like about this game. This game has just really the beautiful suits that you have in the game. The real just fact of the all the skills you can do in this game, the abilities, all the missions greatly, and just like I was saying before, the fact that they um bring Harry Osborn back into bringing him back after really everybody we got into the notification that he was having his issue, and we didn't really know the full the full information about it. Um, and really, it did also pick up on where the last one left off on a lot of your side missions that you chose that you didn't have to do, but obviously if you're a 100 percenter like me, obviously since I have now finally did all the 100% progress in everything. It really hits that position where it touches onto that. Now, one thing that I gotta like that I will say that I loved about this game is is really bringing in so many of the villains. Um, like we got Sandman back, where he was literally the first villain to fight in the game because of what he was doing. Um, then we got really the whole Sinister Six, thanks to um, Mr. Negative, aka um, whatever. I can't think of his name right now. But anyways, Mr. Negative using that to bring to really um, go into the spiders, and just bring the huge thing um of that, uh what do I want to say, the bad memories that all the that every time the uh Sinister Six or any of the random uh villains come in and do their damage. And really it just shows that how much you know it really just kind of shows up on how much um, that Peter himself has to really holds in all that guilt, and just the fact of the matter that every time that the a villain breaks out of prison and just destroys all their brings so much damage and hurt. um it just it sucks for Peter, because he's holding in all that guilt that he just doesn't up and kill the villains, which which depending on your side, I'm not gonna say anybody is wrong on saying that Spider-Man should start killing his villains, because we all know Spider-Man can. Um, for all the villains that he fights, and all the villains like really damage him, we all know that that's just not the case. We all know Spider-Man, if he really went out full out, he would kill pretty much every villain he faces. There's even a comic book that um, that goes into that detail. Um, it's one of them is one Superior Spider-Man, where Doctor Octavius um, takes control of Peter's body, and he goes around and he claims that Peter's dead, and goes around and basically, is kills his villains and does that. But eventually Peter does come back and uh, di- dis take away Doctor Octavius, and he gets his body back. So so we all have seen that portray of Spider-Man going around and actually killing his villains, especially with the symbiote on him. That already shows, with the way that makes him even stronger, faster, and more, what do I want to say, vicious. Um, we already know Peter would definitely go around. We already know Peter could go and kill anybody he really wanted to. But he knows he doesn't want to be the way, somebody would, anybody's going to really screw him over. Um, it's really it's really that good story where um, he knows that it takes more to turn to turn the other cheek and say, I'm gonna give you a chance to um I'm gonna give you a chance to make your life better than for me to just kill you, because we all know I can. And that's really that's really what makes Spider-Man really my favorite hero, is just the fact of the matter that um, he had crime take his take his most important person in his life, aka Uncle Ben, and also, depending on the story, take away Aunt May, and yet, he he isn't going to step into that area and kill people, because he knows what that's gonna be, what that would do to him personally. So, really, in this game, like I was saying before, I know I kind of got a little off topic, but just really the fact of the matter that they brought in so many villains in a lot of different times of the game, it really it adds a lot more to do, and it just did really, really good. Now, one thing I will state that kind of got me really surprised is that this game had a lot to do with the Web of Shadows game. It really it took a lot from what Web of Shadows did, aka aka one thing that the Web of Shadows was a PlayStation 2 slash mainly 3 Spider-Man game, where the game was basically where Spider-Man um, was dealing with Venom, um, and his and Venom's symbiote was going interesting. He was really disobeying Brock. He wasn't listening to him, and he started basically doing what the same thing he did in this game, where he made an infestation of symbiotes going around in the world and taking it over. Um, so I really got I really got those vibes. Got those Web of Shadow vibes. The only thing I will say I am a little disappointed on in this game is that they did not give us um, the opportunity like what Web of Shadows did, and give us the opportunity of making choices with whether or not we wanted a choice of the good Peter or the symbiote taking over. Now, I can understand. I understand why they didn't do that, because really this wasn't a full-on position of, hey, we already know what the symbiote will do. This is more just another introduction to that side of the symbiote. Or we'll see where we now get another portray of how Spider-Man was when he is the symbiote, when he's symbiote Spidey. So I'm not fully hating on the game for that, because obviously, like I said, I full on love this game. Um, so saying that, um, saying that that I don't like this game because of that is, not a uh, not true. One thing I will also state um, is that they to me, I feel like they should have gave Miles of more more fat more push in the story. um the way in this game, again, I understand, especially since Miles did have his own stand alone game, uh, which, I mean, some people will say that, that was a fill in, which it is. So, it may not count, but it's still a thing where Miles should have still had a little bit more push in the story. Like, really, if you think, like, really, if you go back and check, a lot of the story, you start out as Peter, and then maybe eventually you get to go and um, do something as Miles, but really, it's really the simple fact that Miles doesn't really get more, didn't really, doesn't really get all that involved. Um, which, again, you can understand a little bit because it's the symbiote. This is the symbiote Spidey game finally coming in. So, so Peter is really kind of gonna get the big, push, especially when he gets the symbiote, which I will state that in just a second. But, um, but it wouldn't hurt to have given Miles one of those big moments in the obviously we know he gets a big moment, especially in the finale and when he's helped Peter get rid of the symbiote first. He does get the big moments, but I feel like it should have been a little bit better, a little bit, giving him a little bit more. Um, because obviously, it's two of the big things is, we finally get the symbiote back in the game, back in games. So, we're gonna want to see them have that more. So, and maybe honestly, we could have even given, Miles a chance with the symbiote, which I will already state after saying that, some people ain't gonna like that because, and really, in comic book and cartoon wise, Miles is really one of the only Spideys, versions of Spider-Man that hasn't been affected with the symbiote. Which obviously we almost did see him get infected by it in the game when they first saw it, but that didn't happen. Which I feel like it's a good thing that they didn't, because again, if that was the case, I feel like a lot of people would have gotten a little bit upset because it's not in the canon material. Now, one thing that I will state about Miles that does to me make up for it is that it gives him side missions too, and there's also some missions that are in between uh, Peter and Miles that really, you can choose either Peter or Miles to do. So, I feel like that is a way of making up for the lack of kind of story push that Miles had in this one. I feel like that makes up for it because it does give you the abilities to say, hey, this mission is okay. I see the way this mission is, and due to me liking Miles more, I can be Miles. Or, if I'm that person who says, oh, I want, Miles to have a little bit more of, push, let's get him to do these missions. And, so, I feel like it fixed it a little bit. Um, now, I will state this. The push that Miles has when it is when he faces villains as beautiful as Mysterio, that was really good that Miles had got a chance to get a push and fight one of Peter's classic villains, which one of the big things is that Miles fighting, oh, who is it, Sandman. He fights the Lizard, so being able to bring in Mysterio into the game, and him doing it, and him playing him fighting the beautiful Mysterio is just great. um so other than that, really I would say let's now we are going to go with what is something we don't like about this game. Now, the one thing I will say that I don't like about this game, and honestly, it's just a nitpick, is the way this game makes there will be times in the game that it makes it to where you have to parry in order to beat somebody. And I get that is just a way of introducing a what do I want to say? A way of introducing a new combat system, and it does have its moments where it is really good, but obviously in a lot of times there are times where in the game it is more of a how do I want to say, more of kind of a annoyance, um more of an annoyance to have to parry and the attacks and everything, than just a flat out saying, oh, hey, you can just dodge it and do it like that. So really that is just more of a nitpick, that the pairing I wasn't really a big fan of. I mean, obviously, as you guys watch what the watch my playthrough of it, you'll see I barely did the pairing. Um, so yeah. Other than that, really, uh, there's not really anything else I didn't like about this game. Now, one thing that we have to be getting ready to do, which I will be making a video of, and we have got to talk about what what are the new expectations that are going to be happening in the new upcoming in the what the sequel could be. Because if you guys have watched my video, my finale video, we saw the we saw in the after credit scenes, we saw that Norman went and talked to Dr. Octavius, and we found Cindy Moon. Which, if you guys do not remember who Cindy Moon is, and I actually forgot who she was for a while, Cindy Moon is actually Silk. Silk is a another Spider Woman in the Spider-Verse, where she got bit by the same radioactive spider that Peter got bit by back in high school, and she really has she has amazing strength, really good speed, very good stealth, and one thing about her, though, which was kind of a silly thing that they added about her, but apparently it's a spider situation with their romantic urges. Silk was always feeling basically sexual with Peter. And it was because of, again, her getting bit by the same radioactive spider as he did. Basically, every time she would be around him, she would basically get this urge of doing nothing but going forward to him, kissing him, and basically sleeping with him. So he was she, instead of her being his booty call, he was her booty call, because again, every time they were around each other, she would ask, "Do you feel the urge? Do you feel these urges coming on?" So really, it's one theory that we're gonna have to talk about in a video that I will be making is what could Cindy Moon have into this next into the upcoming sequel, whenever however long it's gonna take, but we all know there's gonna be there's gonna be a third one. One thing I will mention, because also it is another theory that we're going to have to talk about too. What is Carnage going to have? What do I want to say? What deal is Carnage going to have? Because one thing I will state I don't like is that Carnage was basically a side mission character, which I understand. We're just getting into Venom, so I can understand that Carnage. We're not gonna bring in Carnage because that would take the focus off Venom. So I understand, but I feel as though he shouldn't have gotten really a introduction in the game, because he was the fire guy, the flame, and Cletus Cassidy is his name. And we only get to know this about doing the side mission. So if you guys don't do the side mission, you're not gonna really get you're not really going to see Cletus Cassidy. Um, so it's a situation to where he gets a symbiote in the end of the game, in the end, and so now we're gonna hear about it. Um, so really, what our theory is going to be now, um, what the video is gonna be, is really just trying to figure out what Cletus Cassidy will have in the uh, in the in the sequel story. So we'll just have to see. But with all that being said, guys, I will give this game a 10 out of 10. This game is by far, I'd probably say the top three, if not the top one Spider-Man game. It's got everything you want. It's got a great view of New York. It's got some wonderful side missions, and it almost, like I said before, it does have some nitpicks that I have to pick at it, but other than that, this game, the Insomniac, you guys are just doing spectacular. And if you guys know that, that's a reference to the Spectacular Spider-Man. But no, guys, Insomniac, you guys are doing just spectacular with your team with Marvel, and Sony, whichever ones it is. The news all the time, you never know. But whatever it is going on, keep on. Keep on with it. You guys are doing amazing. So, with all that being said, guys, like I said, 10 out of 10, by far one of the best, if not the best Spider-Man game. Be sure to grab it, especially if you guys are looking at the days right now, especially when it comes to Black Friday. Black Friday sales are going to be happening, obviously Friday, but you might want to go Thanksgiving, tomorrow night, because a lot of places like to do their sales on Thursday night, and that's when you'll get a lot of the deals, and see them all. Excuse me. You'll see everything stacked up instead of going on Friday and seeing that there's not that much. So with all that being said, guys, definitely try on Thursday night, going to Walmart, GameStop, wherever, and seeing if you can find this game that is on a discount. Pick it up and play it. But till then, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Have a fantastic Thanksgiving. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this series of the playthrough series of Marvel's Spider-Man 2. And we should be waiting until next week, and I will announce what my next game series will be. So with that being said, guys, I hope you guys take care of yourselves. Peace. Love you guys. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell. Hit that bell to keep notified of whenever the next series starts. And we will see you guys.